claps and a kitty clap. That's what that is. Oh, we ain't ready yet? Okay, well, it's going to be long, so we'll just wait.
Take them to the house and pray his own. All right, brothers and sisters, we waiting on the broadcast to start. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 and 5.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Adonai. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
Praise Yah, praise Yah. Now, Elder Priest, let's read the church oracles.
These are the church oracles, starting in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua, the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for the anointed one's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also has loved us and has given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given to thanks.
Amen.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 20 through verse 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
Praise Yah. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. Okay, brothers and sisters, the name of this class, this new moon class, is called The Apple of Yah's Eye. The Apple of Yah's Eye.
Praise Yah.
And what we're going to do first, I did a little research on how the eye works. And there's some things that I didn't know about the eye. So let's enlighten each other. Here we go. How does the eye work? Well, the eye works like a camera. When you look at an object, the light from it enters your eye through the pupil, which is the dark hole in the middle of your eye, which is the iris. Well, the iris is the colored part of the eye. It changes the size of the pupil depending on how bright the light is. The lens focuses the light onto the back of the eye. That's the retina. The retina is a mass of light-sensitive neurons called photoreceptors. Photoreceptors, right? Photoreceptor neurons, which change the light signals into electrical ones. Now, the objects that the eye see is upside down, but the processing part of your brain turns the object right side up so you see the things the right way. So let's see how Yahweh's eyes see. Let's go to Psalms 33, and let's read verses 13 through 19. So this is how your human eye works. Let's see how Yahweh sees. Yes, sir. Psalms 33, verse 13 through 19.
Verse 13. Yahweh looketh from heaven. He beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. He fashioneth their hearts alike. He considereth all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of an host. Excuse me. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine.
Praise Yah. Verse 18, behold, the eye of Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. Okay, let's go to Proverbs 5, verse 21. Proverbs 5, verse 21.
Verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he pondereth all his goings.
Praise Yah. Elder, let's go to Jeremiah 32, verse 16 through 19. And this is how Yahweh sees things.
Verse 16. Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, I prayed unto Yahweh, saying, Ah, Adonai Elohim, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth by thy great power, and stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompenses the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty Elohim, Yahweh of hosts, is his name. Great in counsel and mighty in work. For thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
Praise Yah. Let's continue, Judah. Now, the definition, the eyeball or globe of the eye with the pupil in the center, called the apple for its round shape, protected by the eyelid closing automatically at the least possibility of the threat of danger, makes it the symbol of that which was most treasured and enviously protected. When you call someone the apple of your eye, you are telling them that they are cherished. Now, the origin of this phrase, the apple of his eye, this expression first appeared in 885 A.D. In a work that's attributed to King Alfred, then later used by Shakespeare in the 1600s, then in the English translation of the Bible in 1611. Now, the phrase appears in 4 of the books in the Old Testament: Deuteronomy, Psalms, Proverbs, and Zechariah. Thank you, brother. When used in the context of preciousness. However, in the Hebrew language, it is also referred to the pupil and has the same meaning, but does not parallel to the English use of the apple. The more literal translation is the little man of his eye, pertaining to the reflection of oneself that you see in the eye of another person. So you know you got to be up on somebody to see the reflection of yourself in their eyes, right? Now, the Hebrew word for apple, according to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, 8,598, is called tapua. And it's from the fragrance that it gives. Now, the Hebrew word for pupil, according to the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, 380, is ishan, which is related to the word ish, meaning man. So let's see who is the apple of Yah's eye. Let's go to Genesis 2, verse 4 through 9.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for Yahweh Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Not a spirit, a living soul. Continue, Elder Priest.
And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Yahweh Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Praise God. Elder, let's skip to verse 15. Let's go 15 through 25.
All right. And Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And Yahweh Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And out of the ground Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called them, and whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him. And Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which Yahweh Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Praise God, praise God. Verse 4, these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens. I don't see Pluto, I don't see Mercury, I don't see Neptune, I don't see anything else but the earth. Right? Verse 18, and Yahweh Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. Well, he had to be watching him to even see that he needed a helpmate. Right? Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 5, verses 1 through 5. Yahweh's keeping an eye on his creation now.
Genesis 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Elohim created man, in the likeness of Elohim made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. Excuse me. And the days of Adam, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died.
Praise God. Verse 5, and all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. So Yahweh had been watching him for 930 years. right? To see what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 6, my brother, verses 8 through 22. And we're going to see another brother who Yahweh had his eyes on.
Genesis 6, verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And Elohim said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that Yahweh, Elohim, commanded him, so did he.
Praise Yah. If I'm not mistaken, it took him 100 years to make the ark, right?
That's right.
Okay, so Yahweh watched him make the ark from the instructions that he got from the angels.
That's right.
Okay, Elder Priest, can we go to Genesis 11, 1 through 9? Genesis 11, 1 through 9.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And Yahweh said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Praise God. Verse 5, it said, and Yahweh came down. Well, we know Yahweh didn't come down as an angel. And he came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. So he had his eye on them also. Elder Priest, let's go to, in that same chapter, let's go verse 27 through chapter 12 and verse 9. And this is Yahweh calling Abraham from his family at the age of 75. So you can never be too old to hear this word.
Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now Yahweh has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Morah, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto Yahweh, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yahweh, and called upon the name of Yahweh. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south.
Praise Yah. So Yahweh has an eye on the apple of his eye. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 17, verses 1 through 8. Genesis 17, verse 1 through 8.
Verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am Almighty El Shaddai. Walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be an Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim.
Praise Yah, praise Yah. Verse 5 said, neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Mm-hmm.
He feels this much about the apple of his eye that he changes his name to something else, more greater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Elder Priest, let's go that same chapter, verse 15 through 19, and see who else name he changes.
Verse 15. And Elohim said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face, and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto Elohim, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarai thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
Praise Yah, praise Yah. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to another place where the Most High has his eye on this particular apple. Let's go to Genesis 22, verse 11 through 19.
Verse 11. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here am I. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Elohim, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place, Yahweh will provide, as it is said to this day, in the mount of Yahweh it shall be seen.
Praise Yah.
And the angel of Yahweh called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, by myself have I sworn, saith Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba.
Praise Yah. So not only is Yahweh looking out for Abram, he said, I'm going to watch out for your seed too. So I'm going to look after them too. Right? Okay. Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 25. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Elder.
Hey, my brother. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder.
I believe that.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. It's not 17. Verse number 18. It says, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. That right there tells me how every nation has possessed us. as they captors and how they became a superpower,
That's correct.
including these United States as we live here today. That just shows that how the seed of Abraham blessed the nation. Its seed.
That's correct. We're in the United States, aka the Dollar Babylon, right?
Yes, sir.
One of the most powerful countries on the face of the planet.
Yes, sir.
We are here because they're powerful because we are here. So Yahweh has truly blessed America for now. For now.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct, Elder.
All right, brother.
Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 25, sir, 19 through 26.
Y'all cold? Genesis 25, verse 19.
Yes, sir.
And these are the generations of Esau, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Esau, and Esau was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. Excuse me. And Esau entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and he called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Esau was 60 years old when she bare them.
Praise Yah. Verse 20, and Esau was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. 40 years old, right? All right. Verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Esau was 60 years old. So it's 20 years he's watching his brother. He got his eye on his brother, right? Just like he told Abraham, I'm going to look out for your seed. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 26, verse 1 through 5.
Verse 1. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Esau went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
Praise Yah, praise Yah. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Genesis 28, 1 through 5. So you got to be a special person for the angel of Yahweh to come speak to you. Not once, but twice. Right? Okay. Genesis 28, verse 1 through 5.
Verse 1. And Esau called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And Elohim Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And Esau sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother.
Praise Yah. Elder, let's drop down to verse 10 through 15. Let's see what else Yahweh did to appear to his servant. Let's see what else happened.
And Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it. And behold, Elohim stood above it, and said, I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham thy father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of.
Praise Yah, praise Yah. Verse 15, and behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither you go, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. He said, I will not leave you. That means I will be watching you forever. I'm not leaving you. Praise Yah. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's continue. Since it is impossible for Yahweh to lie, the Most High continues to multiply the apple of his eye by blessing his servant Jacob with 12 boys, later known as the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Why the 12 tribes of Israel and not the 12 tribes of the Christians or Muslims? Let's go to Genesis 35 and let's see, 9 through 15. Genesis 35, 9 through 15.
Verse 9. And Elohim appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padanaram, and blessed him. And Elohim said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And Elohim said unto him, I am Elohim Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thee, out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And Elohim went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in that place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where Elohim spake with him, Bethel.
Praise Yah. So, Elder, Abraham would be Jacob's great-great-granddaddy?
No, it'd just be his grandfather.
Grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, so he changed his grandfather's name, He changed his grandmother's name. Now he changed his name. Right? Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Exodus 1, verses 1 through 7. And we're going to see how the Israelites multiplied in Egypt. I got a few more brothers and sisters. I'll be out y'all hair in a few more minutes.
That's all right, man. Keep it moving.
Praise y'all. Yes, sir. Verses 1 through 7.
Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, but Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
That's it, Elder. Thank you. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's go to Exodus 4, verses 18 through 22, where Yahweh makes a very profound statement about the apple of his eye.
Verse 18. And Moshe went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moshe, Go in peace. And Yahweh said unto Moshe in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. And Moshe took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt, and Moshe took the rod of Elohim in his hand. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hands. But I will harden his heart, that he will not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
Praise Yah. Verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. He didn't say that about nobody else in this book, but the apple of his eye. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Deuteronomy 7, verse 6, and see another profound statement.
Verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim. Yahweh thy Elohim have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Praise Yah. Still talking about the apple of his eye. Elder Priest, let's go to Amos chapter 3, verses 1 through 2. Amos chapter 3, verse 1 and 2.
Right after Joel. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Verse 1. Hear this word that Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Okay, that cancels out everybody else, don't it? Praise Yah. Okay, brothers and sisters, now we're going to go to the places where this particular phrase appears. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32, verse 6 through 10. And this is the song of Moses that he sang to the children of Israel. This is a song now. Okay,
Verse 6. Do you thus requite Yahweh, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For Yahweh's portion is his people, Jacob is a lot of his inheritance.
go to verse 10 for me, Elder.
He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye.
Praise God. Let's go to Psalm 17. We're going to go to verse 1 through 8. And man, we're in the house of y'all. You ain't going to catch no cold.
You want me to throw some water on you, bro?
Yes, sir, Elder.
You know, just look at what we have been through the dark ages.
Oh.
You know, looking what our people have been through the dark ages. Then through this slavery, you know, Yahweh has to have his eye on us to reveal the things he revealed unto us in this generation. You know, he kept his eye on us at all times.
Praise God.
Have to give him the praise.
Praise God. And that's something our people don't know, that we have a God that's watching us all the time. They think it's that imaginary guy, right? But Yahweh is watching us all the time.
That'd be racism, bro. That'd be racism.
Hey, it's got to be.
Jake say, wait a minute. You don't watch nobody else?
Well,
Right?
call it what you want to. It's still what it is.
No, well, what I say is what the old man said. I say that, but you know, Yahweh's not a racist. He just had his favorite dish.
Right.
And our people refuse to believe that, but everybody else knows.
That's right. That's right. Praise God. Praise God. Okay, let's continue. Psalm 17, verse 1 through 15. And this phrase appears in Daweed's prayer.
17, 1 through 15.
17, 1 through 5. No, 1 through 8. Let's go 1 through 8. Yes, sir.
1 through 8.
Yes, sir.
Hear the right, O Yahweh. Attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of feigned lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men, by the words of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O Elohim. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings.
Praise God. Verse 2, let my sentence come forth from your presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Praise God. Okay, Elder Priest, let's go to Zechariah 2, verse 6 through 13. And this is a vision of the kingdom to come. We're going through time, man. It's like a time box right here, man. We're going through it, right? Praise God.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahweh. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith Yahweh. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Europe. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me unto thee. And Yahweh shall inherit Yehudah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, O all flesh, before Yahweh, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation.
Praise Yah. Verse 8, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. Praise Yah. Judah. Finally, Judah, it is plain to see who is and who is not the apple of Yahweh's eye. Time would fail me to tell of all the prophets, the righteous kings, and the heroes of faith who Elohim was with. Now, the word Israel is mentioned in the Bible over 2,000 times. Meanwhile, the word Christian is only mentioned a measly 3 times. How did we miss that? But praise Yah for the opening of our eyes to where we can see the chosen people for who they really are. The so-called African-American Negro and the other 9 tribes scattered abroad. In the same way the angel of Yahweh told his prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1 and 5, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. So we too were also predestined to be strangers in this land that's not ours, afflicted for 400 years by the inhabitants of this land, whom Yahweh will later judge. Then afterwards, the apple of his eye will come out with great substance. Elder Priest, let's go to Psalms 126, 1 through 6. Let's finish this off. Praise Yah. That's right, so you got a real hope, bro. No other book give us hope but this book, right?
Yeah, they have to stay here in America, bro. I don't know how they got over here, but they got here.
I don't know how they got over here.
Go down with the ship.
they was on the ships too.
Praise God. Psalms 126, family, 1 through 6.
When Yahweh returned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, Yahweh have done great things for them. Yahweh have done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Yahweh, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him.
Praise God. And this is the plan that Yahweh has for the apple of his eye. Thank you. Shalom, family.
Praise God.
Judah. Judah. Thank you.